Hi, welcome to a very special Qwoff TV and a couple of nervous hosts, Mr. James Halliday.
One legend,
so
James Halliday. A little bit nervous. Thank you so much.
We just had the absolute profound experience to sit through a lineup of wines, the likes of which I couldn't even really fathom getting my hands on until now. And wow, first of all, thank you for the wines. I'm fascinated. You chose those wines for a reason.
Well, Andrew Caillard was the prime mover, but sure, I'm involved in the...
So we should be talking with him then.
Yeah, we should. I mean, they were chosen to distill into a 2-hour session the last 60 years of Australian winemaking history. And I think they were fantastic. They really did show that. They were almost, because they are basically in 4 rows, and actually each row was another decade on. And it was really fascinating coming from the 55 Grange and 62, then 60A, which is one of the all-time greats, and 71 Grange, another famous Grange to start with. And it was very interesting seeing the reaction of the people from overseas. They kept on coming back to those 3 wines, even though some of them are just, I think, fading a bit. They're still magnificent wines, and because I've been around for so long, I've actually tasted those wines over a number of decades, and so I've seen them in their youth and their full flower and vigour and maturity, and now seeing the same sort of decay that I have. Still, we keep going. We keep going. I keep going, and the wines keep going too. So far, it's okay.
I was actually really interested. You are considered a mentor for a lot of people in Australian wine. Who was one of your mentors, one of the more important people in wine in the world?
Well, really, I mean, that's such an easy question because there was only one, and that's Len Evans.
Len Evans.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he started out being a mentor and a true teacher, and I was a true student, disciple or whatever, and by the end of, before the end of his life, in the latter decade, 2 decades perhaps, the last 2 years of his life, he and I became probably each other's best friend. We loved each other quite deeply, and it was just always a wonderful moment to rock up to his house in the Hunt of Loggerheads, and he'd come out shuffling out, smoking jacket on, and sort of lounge room shoes. Not quite bottle creepers, but and it was always, hello chap, and it was just like coming home. But he was such a generous man, and he had such extraordinary knowledge that it was just great.
Yeah. Is this part of the original Burgundy and beefsteak wine bottle part?
No, single bottle part, but that started, the first of those was 1977, but I got to become friends with Len, although obviously it was a long, slow process, and the late 1967, 68, and it was really out of what I learned and his need. I mean, the Hunter I knew of because I'd gone up there in the 1950s when I was at Sydney University, St Paul's College, and we had a wine cellar and trips to the Hunter. And my father only ever drank Norman wines, white and red. So I sort of had a bit of Hunter in my veins, and of course that was where Len ended up once he'd moved from Sydney.
And that, I found it interesting that you were talking about this great era that Hunter had, and I remember, you guys, you're a bit of a, well, I guess some people called you a group of barons, other people maybe a rat pack, but there were powerful figures that were based around like Tower Estate where you met.
Yes, well, we went back a lot further than that. I guess the genesis of this was the so-called Monday table, where 5 of us, including 3 of the Brokenwood founding partners, Tony Abbott, who's now dead, and John Beeston and I, and a couple of others, every Monday after lunch we'd play the options game, and with some amazing wines, because at that point of time they were incredibly cheap. I mean, unbelievably cheap. You look back and you just shake your head and think, how can it this been true? But it was true. And the three of us were lawyers, so we had some disposable income, and so we would think nothing of opening everyone bring a pre-1900 wine to play options with Monday lunch.
So even those kind of wines were more affordable.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they make you cry to tell you just how cheap they were. And then it would degenerate into 7-card start poker, which would sometimes go until 3 or 4 in the morning. So
nice. On that, is there a wine that you remember is, it's the pinnacle? There's a special moment for one particular wine.
Yeah, I guess I can oblige you there. And this was at Lem's house in Wisdom Street in Greenwich. And it was about it was the end of the 1960s, probably 1969, 70. And he served me this glass of what I knew to be Burgundy only because of the shape of what I assumed to be Burgundy, and I took one sniff and yes, it was Burgundy. And I had some hair in those days, and the hair stood up, I think everywhere, but certainly in the back of my neck, because I'd never smelled, never tasted it, and tasted anything like it in my life. It was just electrifying, and that was a 1962 Domaine Romani Conti La Tâche. And it was a vintage that I subsequently learned that the co-owner of DRC and Louis Wiesler always was one of her all-time favourite wines. And that's when I got hooked on Burgundy. So it's been a long journey.
An expensive journey.
Has that carried through to Australian Pinot for you?
Oh, that's why I came from Sydney to Melbourne, for sure. I ostensibly came from my law firm, but really I was coming to the Yarra Valley, to Melbourne to get to the Yarra Valley, and that worked out pretty well. But it was, yeah, absolutely. Because at that time, when I moved in '83, Mornington Peninsula existed, but it really was little known about it. There was a tiny mountain Geelong. So the Yarra was the epicentre of true Pinot at that stage.
That was obviously Coldstream.
Well, in 1985, yes, Coldstream, yeah, but late 70s, 77, 78, 79, there were some of the very first Pinots out of the Yarra Valley, and they were unlike anything I'd seen. We'd planted some at broken ones, but completely hopeless, waste of time, waste of space.
Yeah.
And where do you think
Dr. Lake's? Dr. Lake, do you have to run off?
Yeah.
No, that's absolutely fine.
I really do, because I'm going to get back to Australia. I said, no, I promise I'll do it live.
Well, just thank you so much for letting a couple of kids like us taste some of those wines. Halliday, and thank you for your time.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Okay.
Good luck with the interviews.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's a couple of the wines. Now they're sort of empty. Oh, actually, hold on. I see a sprinkle. These are a couple of the wines we got to try. That is a 1955 Grange. That was, I think, the first commercially available Grange.
Yeah, because 51 and 52, and then there's a break of 3 years, so I think so.
Astonishing. And this is a 76 Wendouree. That was the rarest wine in the bunch. I think there were 2 bottles, and we got to try the one that wasn't quite right, but they were raving about it. This takes wine to a new level. This is why people have been talking about wine and crapping on about it for thousands of years. It hasn't come and gone. Wine can transcend just being a beverage and become something that sticks in your memory and be very special. And I hope you have moments like that and get your hands on something like this.
Like we did today. That was special. See you later, folks.
Cheers.